Wahoo! Here we go.
Oh, there we go. That's the way to start it. Waffles
Let's go.
is Mario now. You have to
It's
start,
stream time.
you have to speak the entire stream like that now.
It's me, Waffles. Hello.
Yeah.
Better than Chris Pratt. Where's my Mario movie?
Where is my Mario movie
audition?
contract? You gotta get
Yeah.
Waffles. Waffles is the next Mario for.
It's the WaffleBran podcast. Wahoo!
Yes, the classic way to start one of these, and well, we're back with another week of the WaffleBran
Means you gotta
podcast.
talk like Luigi.
I will never attempt to do that in one bit. Doesn't he sound like it's very similar? Anyways, I don't even.
It's me, Luigi.
Oh, I guess yeah. It's like no chance.
It's like Mario, but like he's
Just
plugged
like
his nose.
yeah, he's plugged his nose. It's like the exact same time. You just plug your nose.
Me, Luigi. And also he's like a little dead inside because like his brother is doing better than him all the time
at everything, and then he gets to explore a haunted house, and that's his fun.
Yeah, and his games all involve him having a near heart attack. He finally gets a mansion and it's just like filled with ghosts and stuff, and he's like, shit.
Now I got to explore this.
Mario's like, I live in a castle. Woohoo!
I don't have to explore a mansion.
I have a hot girlfriend. Cool, I live in a mansion with a lot of ghosts and shit.
And I'm a scared little bitch.
Yeah. And he's a scary Mario. Oh, God.
Well, I have no idea how we started on this topic. I can't even explain.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. We start our conversations right off the bat, and we barely even know what we're talking about in the first place. So we go on a completely different tangent in the beginning. But hello, everybody, and welcome back.
Convention talk. We're doing seamless segue. Convention talk.
Seamless segue. Yes, seamless segue. Last week we spoke about esports, and we ended off on a great topic of the Olympic stuff. When was that happening? Did we miss that? Did you watch that?
I think we did. Yeah, I totally I wanted to watch that so bad. We never did an Olympic esports watch party. When was that? That was like
I feel like that had to have been like last week or something.
Esports Olympics. That was on. No, we didn't miss it. It's on. No. It's on July. We still have time, Brian. We can catch it. It's July 26th.
Oh, so it's not for another month.
To August 11th. So we got plenty of time.
So it's not for another month. All right. So we're still on track for that. So yeah. The Olympics has esports in it, and it's really stupid games. And from now we're gonna train Waffles to play tic-tac-toe, so that he can be prepared for the next esports Olympics.
We should just do a whole podcast while we're watching the esports Olympics. That would be amazing.
I don't think that's that's allowed, but.
I know, but no, we could just have it like in the background, like we could just have the audio and we can comment on it.
I don't think we do that. I mean, we may be able to show our faces and other people have to watch.
Just nothing. We're talking.
It would have
if you guys want to know what we're talking about, tune into the esports Olympics right now.
That might have to be the case because that's copyright. Because there'd be copyright issues with any audio or visuals through on Twitch's stuff, and Twitch is
that's fair. That's fair.
Stingy.
Yeah, we'll just comment in the background then. Yeah, we'll comment in the what's happening. We'll give you a play-by-play.
Yeah, you might be able to do that. You might be able to do play-by-play and stuff, but you wouldn't be able to do a actual watch along unless you got the rights to do it and you got allowed to do it. Which I don't know how that is, because sometimes they do allow that. But I doubt the Olympics would be like, yeah, everyone can just stream it on something and
stream.
Do content.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I would be very surprised if Twitch didn't have like a stream dedicated to the esports Olympics.
Well, they might, but we still couldn't watch that because we don't have the rights to do it.
Yeah, that's true. We just tell everybody to go to that Twitch page while we comment.
Well, if it was on Twitch, that'd be a lot easier than trying to find it on a goddamn browser. Because that's what I'm thinking it is. It's on some kind of browser somewhere else in the universe, and unless it's on your local television or TV station, which I don't even think they would give time to that.
Yeah, and like, what would they even? Are they just gonna like?
It could be on. It could be live streamed just on the Olympic
I would
website,
love it
maybe.
if like you didn't even get to see the gameplay, and uh, it was just them hovering a camera over like the the people just sitting there on their phones playing
Tic
playing
tac
the
bow,
phone games. Yeah. Watch him swipe his
or the
fingers.
people
Look at that
doing
finger swiping action.
or the people that are doing that are doing what is it, kendo or something, what it was.
Yeah, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's just like, now you're
But
punching. They get to punch the air. They're punching the air. Look at them punch the air. What?
we have to focus, Brad. We have a topic today.
I was recapping our last one, and then we can make plans for future episodes. Although you might be away during that time. I actually
I might be away during that time. I don't think end of July I should be around, but
anyways, that's plans for the future. We don't plan for the future here. We do it in the moment. That's why our topics are always last minute. And our topic,
moment.
Yeah, and our topic today will be conventions. Waffles has never been to a convention.
Yeah, so Bran's been to a bunch of them. I've never been to a convention.
I gotta specify this. I used to not go to conventions. I was not someone who went to conventions at all. And more recently, because of stuff, changes in my likes, dislikes, and work, has forced me to go to more conventions. Which is
a good thing. Conventions are awesome. Yeah, I'm super jealous because I've never been to one and I've always wanted to go to one. And then Bran was like, "Let's talk about conventions."
Yeah, before the pandemic, I went to 0 conventions. After the pandemic, I've been to like 7 in 2 years.
And during the pandemic, 0 as well, because unless it was a virtual, wasn't there like a bunch of virtual conventions?
There was a bunch of virtual ones, but you just it was just basically showcases. That's basically all it was. It was a bunch of showcases, because like I'm pretty sure like PAX would have done one, and it's like all the showcases are just like, or E3 or whatever.
Imagine a virtual convention. That would be
well, virtual conventions are just literally it's not an actual, it's just a showcase. Like just to show off
right. Wouldn't it just be like a video? Just like it'd just be watching a video of somebody talking and stuff like that. Like just like any other kind of broadcast where they're just 2 people in front of a booth or something talking. Kind of like like maybe a guy themed around waffles and another guy who was like a bran kind of person who really liked bran flakes.
But we would have to be talking about something actually people would want to watch. We don't do that.
we don't do that. We don't do that here on the WaffleBran podcast. We talk about conventions that people don't want to watch.
That's how we do it right here, folks. That's how we promote our episodes. If you keep watching us and subscribe and follow and do that, so you can get more bullshit.
The WaffleBran podcast. We don't talk about what you guys want to hear. We just talk. That's it. But okay, so
I've gone to a few now. Prior to going to none. So I've had expectations versus reality. So part of what I wanted to talk about is kind of your expectations and then reality of what things are from someone who hasn't been to any conventions before and has wanted to go to one. I want to know from your point of view what you expect it to be like, what you've from like videos, photos of friends going, people talking about them, your expectations of them when you're going to one, as well as things that
people in furry outfits everywhere.
All right, so Waffles is going to furry conventions. That's the first thing we've talked to. We can go off the list.
That's
Waffles.
Everybody's in furry outfits, right? Usually in every convention.
Waffles is going to furry con.
No, but like, I don't know if my expectations for conventions and things like that. Now, there's a lot of different kinds of conventions. I mean, there's a convention for literally any type of, hobby or media or anything like that. There's, if you can name it. I mean, even during COVID, they had that giant Smurf convention where everybody dressed like Smurfs and they just said, "Screw COVID, and we're going to become Smurfs" and stuff like that. Like there's literally convention for everyone. Uh, so
That's the
so I
crazy thing is
guess
there is a lot of different conventions out there. There is plenty of things you can do and hobbies. Like more recently or this past week, I was at a VTuber convention, which is the first VTuber convention in North America, dedicated VTuber convention in North America. So there's a lot of VTubers who attend anime conventions, which is quite typical because obviously it combines well. But this was the first time that I feel like there was a dedicated VTuber convention that was just focused purely on VTubing and VTubers, which is crazy now to think about it, because that means that again the industry is growing and that stuff. And we had a good conversation with Astra I guess more than a couple weeks ago now.
It's been like a month. Talked about that.
It's been like a month or so ago now that we had the conversation with Astra, who is a VTuber and was using her model. And we got an insight into that kind of stuff, as well as Arya was on with her VTuber model as well several times ago. But like we
talked about VTubing, and actually we talked, I think, about that convention and how you were going to go to it.
Yeah, it was prior to me going, obviously, because we talked about a month ago, and the convention only had happened last week. But yeah, we probably had a small conversation on it, but it's like that means the industry is growing because now there's dedicated conventions for it, which
there's conventions for it. Well, I mean, like I said, there's a Smurf convention, so who knows? Like, but
Smurf's big enough to
I guess Smurf has a
that's the thing is just like when you get big enough, you have dedicated things that go global. Because you can have the thing is you could have local conventions that that people attend and stuff and they're interested in. But like when you take it onto a global scale, or at least a continent wide scale kind of thing, and people are flying in to do this because they're interested, like that, you're at a certain point to do that, because that means you have the ability to market and bring in people from who aren't just in your local area, but you're able to bring someone who's
have enough to
across the country.
Draw a decent gathering of people. I mean, to be fair, even in my local area, you could just host a concert and it could literally be a concert about anything and people would show up. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, people would show up, but they're only in that local area, right? They're not going to travel outside.
Yeah, they're not going to travel.
Because would they even know about it? Like that's the thing. It's just like there's a certain point where it's just like now you're getting into it. Maybe it's not the biggest convention in the world, but you have to be at a certain point to be able to market enough and bring enough attention into it that people are actually traveling to this thing, rather than just being like, I'm in San Francisco, I'll go see that. Like that's one thing, but when someone says, yeah, I'm from somewhere else, even like possibly Europe, and I'm traveling in this, like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So, how was the VTuber convention?
Oh, we're gonna start there. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think since we're talking about it anyways, we'll talk about it while I try and think of what my expectations actually are. I want to hear what you. Well, okay. Maybe I'll talk about my expectations first before you I was gonna say
let's not go into, because maybe I'll change your perspective of it. But like you've heard people go to conventions, you've seen stuff about conventions.
I don't have any expectations for like a VTuber convention.
No, I just meant in general, not specifically VTubing, but like as a general kind of concept.
That could be a lot of things.
As a general like convention, what do you expect to see? Like, what do you expect like people to be like, and like what are things you feel like you would do?
I've seen, obviously a lot of videos of things like Comic-Con and stuff like that. Comic-Con, I guess, is the convention that is one of the most popular ones. So that's mostly what I base all of my expectations for conventions on. I mean, I've seen videos of all sorts of different conventions. But
it's one thing to see videos. It's another thing to be there, because there's two completely different things.
Yeah. Because
it's
two different things.
Completely changes. So you can see videos and you can get a basic concept of it, but sometimes your expectations are very different from what actually happens.
Yeah, I think those videos a lot of times are like cherry picking like the good parts where you run into somebody very interesting and
oh my god, it's the famous Twitch streamer Waffles for Chumps.
Yeah. There's what was that one the one of like Spider-Man at Comic-Con? He was doing what the heck was that? There was a really good Spider-Man one at Comic-Con, and things like that, and people will, um, show you those videos, but they don't show you the videos of, I don't know, waiting in line for an hour to go up to a certain booth, or just how many people you have to shuffle and wade through to get to where you want to
There
go
are some
to see
videos
who you want to see.
there are some videos that give you good perspective of those, because sometimes they're literal walk-alongs in some of the areas,
That's true,
and
yeah.
like they're hour and a half long, depending on
Yeah, that's why I haven't watched
the
them.
conventions are. I've watched a couple of them and just go fast forward through them just to kind of get a perspective.
Yeah,
but they give you
I
decent
haven't.
perspective just because you can see them trying to shuffle through. Sometimes it's on like a Friday or Sunday, which is less busy. Some of them are on Saturdays, which is the most busy day. But like but it gives you a decent perspective of how crazy it can be. Not great.
I would like I would think that I would still go. I would love to go to a convention. It'd be great. The waiting and stuff. It depends on how big the convention is. I guess the waiting would probably be pretty big at something
so
like Comic Con, to like a panel you really want to go to.
Let's take Anime Expo, which is happening a week or two from now. I think it's next week.
That's true. I would love to go to Anime Expo. I love me some anime. Give me the anime.
Yeah, Anime Expo (AX) is one of the biggest conventions happening in the anime conventions happening in North America.
Yeah,
it happens in LA. I think it's 3 days. I don't know if it's 4 days. It's 3. I'm pretty sure. Let me look up. But let's take Anime Expo. Let's take the fact that you would want to go to Anime Expo as the baseline. Do you have any expectations of what you would see, how long you would stay? Because that's always a thing, depending on how long conventions are, how long you would stay, and like anything specifically you would want to see.
For Anime Expo, my expectation, I would have mixed feelings about going to an Anime Expo, because I feel like most of Anime Expo stuff is going to be like, here's the Demon Slayer booth, here's the One Piece booth, here's the Dragon Ball booth. It's like, a lot of that stuff is dedicated to the really popular like shonens and stuff like that everybody kind of knows and watches, which I mean have their place, and I like them, but like there's a lot more to anime and stuff like that than that, and I would definitely want to go see like more niche, smaller little like unknown animes, like we talked about anime that one stream, uh like what was that one we were talking about? God, trying to remember anime titles kills my brain, because for some reason Japan decided that the anime naming conventions are going to be like an entire paragraph long. So it's like, that one time I decided that I wanted to be a chainsaw man.
Here, I got this one. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. That's what this
Yeah.
is.
Oh yeah. There's that one. Yeah.
Which is
that one's pretty popular too. I'm pretty sure that would be at an Anime Expo too.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I got a plushie of it. I have a fucking plushie.
Yeah. 100%. That one's pretty popular. I watched that one.
Wasn't there season?
Remember
three?
watching
There's season
that
2. There's at least a season 3. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember anymore.
Yeah. I
stopped
watched
watching
the first season.
I stopped watching halfway through season 2.
It did get a little silly after a while. It did get a little power fantasy kind of silly. I watched it all the way through. It was interesting.
Okay,
but
so you want to see smaller anime, but like, so do you expect to see smaller anime at a different convention?
I probably,
because if we're talking
I expect the lines would be shorter if it was there, so I would be happy if they were. Obviously, there's going to be.
So okay, when we're talking about
not only going to be shows.
So when we're talking about lines and booths and stuff like that, because again, this is something that's intrigued me, is you keep talking about lines and you keep talking about booths. So when we're talking about a booth, so you're saying that someone has like a physical thing in the convention showing off whatever it is.
Yeah, showing off whatever it is, and then I mean, obviously, you have panels and stuff where people are up on a stage or something, or they're all just talking, and there's like a bunch of chairs and people are just sitting there.
So do you expect there to be like, let's say it is a famous, let's take it's Chainsaw Man. Let's first say Chainsaw Man has a booth, and they're showing off whatever it is. Let's say it's merchandise and some stuff like that. And
chainsaw, they're revving up chainsaws and they're selling chainsaws. They're selling Husqvarna chainsaws at their booth.
Let's do that. And they have little pochies there, and they're selling pochi for some reason as well.
Leatherface is there going. This is my favorite anime.
When you see that, when you hear that's gonna be there, and you say you expect there to be lines, are you thinking that there is this line that's like going down the hallway?
No, I imagine there's just a frick load of people trying their best to make something orderly, but it's never as orderly as they want it to be. That's kind of what or they have like the rope lines or something like that.
That's very intriguing because it's nothing like that. Depending on where you go. I don't know about Anime Expo, but most places, I don't think I've ever seen that being the case, because it's normally booths packed into as much space as you can.
Yeah.
And people just walking down the alleys. Like for bigger
wall-to-wall booths.
For bigger conventions, they'll give more leeway to the booths and be like, all right, the path between your booth and the one across from you, depending on what convention is, you got good walking space to go through.
Right.
If you're an Artist Alley, you're screwed.
Well, obviously, yeah.
But
you gotta have somewhere to walk.
But you do. But people try to push their way through and go back and forth. So you don't necessarily need to give them that space if you're trying to crowd and everything is. It just causes a lot more chaos. So you don't necessarily need to give them the space. It's just better to give them the space than not. But if you want, but again,
that's why I said it's like orderly chaos. Like that's what I assume it would be, just like everybody kind of trying to make some order out of it, but like it just ends up being a little chaotic because the natural
one way conventions
people get together.
Yeah, one way conventions earn money, or at least subsidize their cost to rent out the space, is selling booth space. They conventions sell booth space. So depending on what kind of convention you're going to and how big the booth it actually physically is, you have to pay for that lot of space. For either a certain amount of days. I also found this. So Anime Expo starts next week, July 1st, and goes to the July 4th. So it's 4 days convention, which is really weird because it starts on Saturday and goes to that would mean it goes to Tuesday.
Yeah, that is a weird like time slot.
Which
like,
is really
why?
weird because normally it starts on the Friday, then goes Saturday, then goes Sunday, and then maybe it goes Monday. Some go Monday, some only go to Sunday, but this one goes to Tuesday. So
it's like we're running all the way to the middle of the week, our most popular time.
Interesting enough, but either way, they sell the booth space to subsidize their cost. So if you wanted to earn more money as a convention, theoretically, you could shove the paths closer together and get more booth space. And you would subsidize your cost even more because there would be more booth space at the end, just less pathways for people to walk, which again causes more chaos. But where I was going with this was the fact that they don't have the room to create lines.
Right. Okay, I get what you're saying. Like you think there might be orderly lines, but it's less on the orderly part, more on the complete chaos.
Yeah, but it works out because people don't have a line to go into a lot of these times.
Yeah.
Again, it depends on the booth.
I guess it's kind of like smoother just for everybody to go to where they want to go and where they need to be and stuff like that.
And I've never been to Anime Expo personally, so I don't know what it's like exactly, but some booths may have enough space to do lineups depending on what it's doing, what it's selling.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Anime Expo, there's probably some stuff that would have lines, but there's probably not a lot.
I guess it also depends on the booth too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have like people putting out autographs, you kind of have to make a line or something of that sort. You can't just
but a lot of times they'll put that into a different area. because autographs will be in it, especially for like
this is the autograph zone.
There's an autograph zone, and that's where
this is the people zone where people talk to other people.
They'll have lines there. They'll have lines there, and you might have seen a decent amount, a large line around there.
Yeah.
But normally they go, you get an autograph and you're going.
So they separate booths, like this is the merchandise zone. This is the
okay. Before I say anything, I want to get your idea of what you see a convention space as. You might have seen maps, but do you think what do you think things are separated?
I mean, I've literally watched animes where they go to conventions in animes, and it's always really funny to me when they go to an anime convention in an anime, and then there's like a line for an anime inside the anime. That's really it's very meta, and I kind of love it. There's literally animes about a person like making a manga or something like that, and they're selling it at a convention. But sorry, I didn't mean what was the question?
So what do you see the separation as? Do you like in terms of how conventions are laid out? Like, do you know how conventions are laid out and separated in terms, or do you think they're separated at all, or do you think they're just crowded into one spot? Like, I
mean, it depends on, like I said, definitely depends on the convention itself, but I would assume they try and fit as many booths as they can into one space, because you only have so much space. You know, obviously you can, if it's a bigger building for a smaller convention, you have more space, but I think for the most part what I usually see is just booths upon booths, kind of next to each other a little bit, some maybe a little more space than others depending on what they're expecting.
Okay. Is that it? Is that all you see as though
for the entire convention? Well, no, I mean, obviously you have a stage for
like, I want to know, like get your opinion on what each section is. Get your opinion on
you
what
have a place for like people talking and things like that. You know, like a stage and stuff for people to get on mics and, you know, have a talk to a larger group of people. You have kind of more orderly section for autographs and lines, I guess. I mean, also I would assume like every convention's a little bit different depending on what they're just like.
I mean, all conventions have a basic
concept all over there.
Like, the reason I'm asking is all conventions normally have a basic concept of what they're doing. So although it may not look the same, each convention does have certain aspects that make it orderly. So that when you go to a convention,
booths, panels, and I don't know, other sections.
Okay, because where I'm going with this,
booths, panels, and etc.
Because where I'm going with this is like each convention is different. Every convention is going to be different in kind of how it's laid out depending on the venue, what kind of convention is, how big it is, and all that stuff.
Unless it's like I mean, I've seen the videos of like brony cons and stuff like that, where it was just a bunch of dudes partying on a dance floor.
Nice. Don't want to ever see that.
I've seen some special conventions and stuff, but like, yeah, for the most part, the general convention, that's kind of what I think. That's kind of what I think is there.
Well,
booths and panels,
because there's different sections, and each convention is going to be
in crowds.
Yeah, but the general idea is to separate things into certain categories to make it easy, and normally each convention does this because it makes it very fluent. When depending on to every convention you go, you know there's going to be a space for this. You know there's going to be a space for that. You know you'll have to find wherever this section is, and everything in that kind of category is going to be there. Normally the sections are industry, so these are things like merchandise, can be merchandise and like or like companies like let's say
you can buy oversized pins of your favorite
insert
media here.
Yeah, Crunchyroll or anime conventions, they always have the sword section. At
the sword section,
they'll sell like katanas and stuff like laid out and stuff.
Awesome.
But like that's all in one section. you'll have a section for panel, or like panel. You'll have panel rooms. So normally in a certain area, there will be all the panel rooms that you go to, so that you know that it's your convention's either in panel room 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have the main stage, which all the main events will happen on. You'll have Artist Alley. Artist Alley is a big one because Artist Alley. Yeah, Artist Alley is all like independent artists who want to sell their stuff. So they're not industry people. So they're not involved in the industry. They are creators who go to these conventions, who make art or could make plushies on their own. I've seen some of that happen. But they don't have
the Etsy of
it's legitimately
the Etsy of the convention.
It's legitimately Etsy at a convention, and this whole space is filled with just artists who've drawn all these different kind of art stuff, or made certain things, or made pins, made stickers and stuff. And you can go there and buy stuff. Their stuff's more than likely going to be.
They separate it based on like, are you doing art? Are you selling merchandise? Are you?
Well, yeah, because if you're like,
apparently at Anime, are you selling weapons?
Yeah, apparently so. But
it's
like
the katana section.
Yeah, but like it's like you're basically separating into, are you a company that's here representing something, or are you independent and working on something?
Yeah.
The independents are more than likely going to be a little bit cheaper because they're not industry people, and they're not selling authentic stuff, because those companies are selling authentic stuff. But some of those artists are really good.
Hey, put your favorite anime on a shirt, buy my shirt.
But yeah, like some of those artists are really good, and some of their artwork's really good, and that's where a lot of people go to get artwork and stuff, and a lot of their posters or stickers and stuff, or keychains and stuff is Artist Alley, because these artists do whatever they want, whether it's VTubers, animes, and different things like that, and they'll do that. Like I saw body pillows for some reason somebody made. I didn't even realize that was an independent person would do.
There's a body pillow of everything.
No, but I just meant like somebody independent, like an independent person do it.
Everybody's got a body pillow.
I just didn't think anyone independent.
I actually just hit my camera. Hold on, give me a second.
But yeah, they do that.
1 second.
And then they'll have the section for autographs and stuff, so that people can get autographs. And then you have your open space, and then you have your food area where, so depending on where you're going, food trucks will be there, or something will be opening up, like
where you can get your ramen bowls and your, I don't know what else do they eat.
I don't think I've ever seen that
sushi
at a convention, but okay. Not here in North America, at least. Maybe in Japan.
The ramen bowl section.
Maybe we'll have to go to a convention in Japan and see if that's the case. But I've never seen that in
I went to
North
like
America.
anime stores in malls and stuff, and it's always really funny. They always have a very large selection of ramen bowls. Like everybody who watches anime eats like buttloads of ramen.
Like actual bowls, or like
like actual like big bowls with like your favorite like Naruto or something like that on there, and it's always just ramen bowls. Like
I wasn't sure if
the only food you eat as someone who watches anime. You just eat ramen.
I wasn't
all
sure
day.
if you're talking about like instant noodle kind of stuff.
No, like, well, I mean, like Japanese ramen, which is I mean, all instant noodles are ramen's ramen, I guess, but like no, it's like the Japanese bowls where they have the special flat spoon and stuff like that, and you have the chopsticks and the flat spoon, and you go like that.
Now we have to
how they do it in anime.
Now we have to get
yummy.
We have to get Waffle's ramen bowl and have him do a eat ramen on stream.
Well, you saw what's that anime we both watched recently?
I don't remember seeing anyone eating ramen go.
You remember? There's like a whole episode dedicated to one of the high school girls just eating ramen, and then the guy is like, "Oh my god, she is expert ramen eater." You don't remember that episode?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Either that or it's completely gone over my head.
Chika goes into the ramen building and eats like ramen, and the guy is like commenting on her
Oh,
ramen
that
eating
one.
style the whole
Oh,
episode.
yeah. I
She eats ramen like a pro. She's one of us, and like it's all like in his head, so you don't like know it's happening. And then she just looks at the man at the end of the episode, and he just goes. Like creepy creepy just stares at the high school girl, gives her a thumbs up, and she's like, okay. But yeah, like the way that like an actual Japanese ramen bowl, which
there was
Japanese ramen is way better than instant ramen.
there
Oh my
was
god.
there was three seasons of that, and a movie, Waffles. It's very hard for me to pick one episode out of that.
That's fair. I mean, it kind of all anime all kind of blurs together for me. I honestly, I don't like somebody will
There's
mention an anime and I
there's
will not
legit
remember it
there's leg
until I like see a picture of it or
there's
something like that, and I'll be
legitimately
like, "Oh
three
yeah."
seasons of 12 episodes or more, and one hour long movie or whatever, 2 hour long movie.
Anime is just like a big guilty pleasure of mine. It is just like I'll turn it on not expecting something like phenomenal or like brain melting or anything
Have you
like
watched
that, and
Oshinoko?
just it's like comfort food for my brain.
Have you watched Oshinoko?
I don't know what that is.
The idol one. It's an idol.
Yoshinoko?
Oshinoko.
Oshinoko. Nope.
Oshino.
No idea what that is.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. It's a
Oh, that's the one that just came out.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
first
No, I
the
haven't.
the first episode's an hour long.
Yeah, I usually what I'll do with anime is I'll wait until the whole season comes out.
I think it's
and I'll
almost.
just
I
watch
think
it.
I think it's
If
almost.
it's almost over, yeah,
I think it's almost
that one
over.
was on my list of stuff to check out. Apparently, it's very, very popular right now, so I'm gonna check that one out.
I think it ends this week. I think there's only one more episode. There might be 2 episodes left. Maybe one or two. I can't remember.
Chainsaw Man is still on my list. I gotta watch that too.
That's
I
done.
want to see. Yeah.
At least the first season is.
I just haven't watched it yet.
Anyways,
I
that's
wanna
off
see a
topic.
man turned into a chainsaw. I'm sorry, you got me talking about anime, and I can't. I'll never stop. You get me talking about anime, I'll just talk about it. Let's just do a whole nother anime episode.
We'll do another anime. So we'll do it. We'll do that a little bit later.
Let's do. I'll watch Chainsaw Man, and then I'll do a Chainsaw Man episode.
Or we need to what we need to do is rip off the idea from Trash Taste and do a 3x3.
A 3x3.
So you put like you have like so 9 kind of animes like that are like resemble or like basically either you really like or there was something interesting about it you found like just in general.
Okay.
Then you have to talk about your 3x3 and why you put it in
Oh,
there.
that's cool. We can do a tier list.
We could do a tier list too.
S-tier anime.
We could do a tier list too. I'd have to.
No matter what, that would just be nobody's gonna agree with your anime tier list, no matter who you are or what. Everybody is going to be different. There's no way to please anybody with an anime tier list. That would be a way to piss off everybody.
Not everybody. Some people will agree.
My favorite anime isn't an S tier. What the heck?
Some
man?
people may agree with you, just not everyone. Most people won't. Anyways, well,
but yeah,
again,
okay.
Again,
so
there's things we can plan for the future that we can put in our back pocket. Either way, we're back to go conventions. So yeah, so there's different sections within convention stuff just to separate it out. See, these are things you would not know unless you've gone to a convention possibly or have looked at maps of conventions because conventions always post their layouts online. I'm gonna see what Anime Expo's layout looks like and see if there's anything I'm actually even missing.
The katana section is just like huge. It's just massive. There's just katanas
there's just
everywhere.
Swords. They just sell it like made sword. I don't even know what I think some of them are real. Like you know how like people have like katanas in their background or like for some reason have one display. Sometimes those are just bought at anime conventions. The really strange thing about that is there's obviously restrictions on weapons that prop weapons you can bring to conventions.
Meanwhile, you can just buy a whole ass
Let
sword
alone
in the
they
middle
let
of a
them sell
convention.
these at the convention. Yeah, it's just like okay.
Hey, if it sells, they're not putting rules on it. They're not gonna put. I mean, I would guess that most of the swords are not like super sharp
Well, they're probably
and
pretty
ready
dull, but
for absolutely murdering somebody or something like that. I would guess they're mostly showcase weapons. I guess there's
some
probably whole entire cons dedicated
some
to
sometimes they
like old style weapons.
sometimes they're forced to zip tie like it to the case because obviously it comes in a case like the case. So sometimes I think they've asked them to like when they sell them to zip tie the case and the sword together so that someone can't open it right there and then. Uh,
I went to Google and I typed in a medieval weapon convention, and uh I didn't get anything, but I did get there's the convention, chemical the chemical weapons convention. Uh, a convention of the prohibition of development, production, stockpiling, and use of chemical weapons.
I think you should go to that.
Is that is the I don't know if we're talking about the same kind of conventions here.
I think you should go to that one. Well, there's security conventions and stuff. There's conventions for everything because it just depends what you're doing. But obviously, we'll talk about more of our interests rather than our than.
Why I type in medieval weapons and it for some reason
Oh yeah, anime conventions. There's maid cafes. You should go to the maid cafe on that one.
for some reason, oh gosh, yeah, maid cafes, man. Yeah, for some reason Google is like when I type in medieval weapons, it thinks I'm talking about chemical weapons. Google, what is wrong with you? I have not. It thinks I'm talking about the chemical weapons convention. Okay, well, I guess there isn't a medieval weapons convention. We got to make one, Brad. I everybody loves medieval weapons.
Oh, apparently everyone loves chemical weapons.
Apparently, they've got whole conventions on it. Uh, but anyways, uh, yeah. So you said you were looking up the convention for the Anime
I
Expo.
was looking at the map for AX. AX is pretty huge. Holy crap! There's so many stuff there.
Yeah,
Oh my
I mean,
god!
anime conventions are pretty huge. There's a convention like for
Ar-
every.
artist Artist Alley seems packed. Holy crap!
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet there's a lot of artists when it comes to
Well,
anime conventions.
those booths are expensive as hell.
Oh yeah.
Like you should hopefully earn your money back as long as you got good stuff. But holy crap, those booths are expensive to rent out.
Yeah, I mean, even local areas have like their own anime conventions. I mean, even where I live, there's uh what's it called? I think it's called like Jaffax or something like that, which is just a West Michigan anime convention, which is just a very small local convention for anime
Well,
lovers and stuff
that's
like
where
that.
I've got
So
like some of my stuff that conventions I've gone to are in my area. Although again, I live in one of the biggest cities or the biggest city, if not the biggest in Canada. So that's not really surprising that there's conventions near me. But um,
right, yeah.
and some of them are the biggest here in Canada. So I don't have a good expectation on smaller conventions sometimes, but I've been
I
I've
don't
been
have
to
a
some.
good expectation on smaller conventions.
Well, to be fair, the ones here aren't as big as some of the main U.S. ones like Comic Con or AX. Like nowhere close to how big those ones
Yeah, yeah.
are the ones I go
Yeah,
to.
when we talk
But
about conventions, I think we're mostly talking about like larger, well-known conventions and stuff like that, like big conventions, not just like a somebody put a bunch of booths in a high school
gymnasium,
gymnasium.
yeah.
And
Welcome to my
they're just like,
medieval
oh, I
convention.
drew some anime.
But yeah, like
This is my OC.
so
This is Goku Jita. This is this is a fusion between this is Goku Toro. This is a fusion between Goku and Naruto. You get this on our shirt. I'm pretty sure Goku Cheetah is already a thing. I think there's a
I
Goku Vegeta fusion already.
wouldn't
I'm
be
100%
surprised.
sure.
I'm sure there's almost everything. Um, so kind of going back on everything. Um, would you? So going to convention, I want to ask this. Let's say it's a 3-day convention. Let's say it's your standard 3-day convention happening on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
Would you stay all 3 days? How long would you stay?
I mean, I would stay. I don't know. That's a good question. How long? It depends on how much stuff I wanted to see. How much stuff was actually interesting me there. Like, if I just wanted to see a couple booths that were there in particular,
Let's
or
say it's
like
Twitch.
one or two
We'll
panels.
switch it to let's say it's TwitchCon because TwitchCon's better. Sometimes better.
I mean, I'd stay for TwitchCon as long as I could. Probably a couple days because there's always like
Because
there's a
Waffles
bunch of
wants to
people
gamble
I
his
want
money
to
away.
see.
That's this is our announcement that Waffles is going to
Yes.
TwitchCon at Las Vegas this year.
Yeah, Vegas. Heck yeah, I'm going. I'm staying as long as I can at TwitchCon in Vegas. Are you kidding me? Let's go. I don't even screw TwitchCon. I'm just going to Vegas.
Well, see
I'm gonna stay at TwitchCon for a couple weeks.
that's a that's a different aspect of it because some
I don't think you
people
want to stay at Vegas for longer than a week or two, honestly.
probably not, but some people
No.
go to conventions not to go to the actual convention, but to hang out with people. That's because that's another aspect of conventions that we haven't really talked about.
Yeah.
But there are some people, and a good example is TwitchCon, who will go to the place that the convention is happening, but won't buy a ticket to the actual convention or anything because what they want to do is see friends who and a lot of people will go to these things because it's a great gathering place for friends and stuff
They'll just go to the convention area, but they won't actually attend the convention because they just want to hang out with their friends.
Yeah, they won't buy a badge or anything for the convention. They'll just go to hang out with friends. So when friends are done in the convention, because there's, to be fair, there's not a lot to do in a convention depending on what you're doing. A lot of the things is you walk around the industry stuff and the expo hall and the artist alley and stuff. You see a couple panels if you have any panels you want, and then a lot of the time you're hanging out with friends and stuff. And a lot of times that may happen off property, depending on the convention and stuff. And like take Vegas for example, there's a shit ton you can do outside of the convention hall.
Like, yeah, so you would just be like, all right, we're done with the convention. Let's go hit up the strip.
Yeah, exactly. So you go do that, and a lot of people will do that to just because like they don't want to pay the money to go see the actual convention because they don't really care what's inside. Because sometimes,
well, here's like, so would is it mostly stuff when you go into a convention? Is a lot of stuff you have to pay for? Like, is it mostly just a bunch of people selling you crap, or is there actual things inside the convention that are just kind of like, oh, hey, I want to see that. See a like for instance, like you pay to see a panel or something like that. I guess would be um, something you could do there. I would go for like the experience, not so much to just like I could buy something off of eBay or I could get something off of Amazon that is like merchandise for whatever. Uh Most of the time I would go to a con would literally just to be to one hang out with friends and other people who have the same interest as me, and two to experience things there that you couldn't experience anywhere else, like the specific people, like your favorite voice actor or something like that is at the con you're going to. That would be my biggest draw to a con. Booths are like, booths where they're selling pins or katanas or something are like a dime a dozen. I could get that literally anywhere. I could go on Amazon and probably buy a katana right now, and it would just be it'd be the same as it's like going to any kind of street fair where they're just selling a bunch of random stuff. So is it mostly just uh people selling stuff to you, or is it more interesting variety of different things that they usually have, like, or is it just sitting there so you can walk around and stare at people's t-shirts that they're selling?
I think it depends on what you're kind of going there for, because there's a lot of different things
Yeah.
that are like where it's just like you have a lot of interest stuff and people have interest in certain things like panels and stuff, or like there's certain companies that are there, or again, like if you go to TwitchCon, a lot of times there's meet and greets and a bunch of creators there that you wouldn't ever get to see. So
Mhm.
like the it's hard, like the actual convention part of it, like the actual like exhibits and stuff, like a lot, all that is there. That's people that sell you stuff or get you interested in whatever it is. TwitchCon San Diego, which happened last year.
They're there to sell you stuff. Yeah.
There
I mean,
was,
the convention's got to make money, but you're already buying a pass to
but
attend a
it's
lot
not
of
the
the
convention
conventions.
selling you stuff. It's these companies selling you stuff. It's not the convention
Right.
saying, oh, go buy this stuff. It's the because the conventions already earn the money from the badges that you buy and the booth space that they sell to these retailers. Everything else outside of that is being sold to you by companies. So let's say Crunchyroll.
Right. They all have their own individual booths that they pay for in the convention. Right?
Crunchyroll is trying to sell you on subscriptions or whatever they're doing.
This is the Crunchyroll booth. Buy our subscription.
Yeah, well, like buy Crunchyroll stuff or buy a poster or whatever, because they have their own shop too. But the at the end of the day, it's not the convention trying to sell you anything. It's the companies that are there that paid the space to sell you stuff. Like or use their services. Stream Elements was there, which is a big at Twitch on San Diego.
I am familiar with them as a streamer.
Yeah, like most streamers know of them because you'll use somebody or people will use them, or people will use them for their sponsorships and stuff. Like
right,
like they were there to sell services to streamers because that's where all the streamers gather, and sell their services. And they had merchandise laid out. They had their because Stream Elements makes t-shirts and stuff on print on demand. So they had samples there, so you could feel the quality and stuff. So you can be like, oh yeah, it's really, it actually feels really good. I'll use Streamlabs to advertise my merch now. Like some, it's not necessarily are they're depending on the convention going. It's not they're selling you directly. It's not like everyone's going here, buy this plushie. I want you to buy this plushie. Sometimes it's just like there are stuff like that. There was well,
it seems crazy to me. Like I would definitely go for like autographs and like panels and stuff, because it just seems crazy to me to pay money for people to want to shill stuff to me.
Yeah, but it depends what you're going to, because a lot of times the idea is that this is, depending on what kind of convention you're going to, this is an industry thing. You're going, depending on if you're in the industry or not. Like if you're if you're going to Anime Expo, you're more than likely going because you're an anime fan and you want to see all this bunch of anime stuff, and you want to see people cosplay, or you want to see people or see other fans
and ramen bowls.
Yeah, or like stuff like that, or like meet creators that made these made the
yeah, exactly. That's what I would go to see the people.
Or maybe you want merchandise. Maybe you want someone who's drawn something and you want to buy something there. But if you go to somewhere like PAX or TwitchCon, some of it is fan aspect and some of it's industry, because sometimes you're going because you're a streamer.
Networking.
Yeah,
it's like for industry people.
Exactly. You are.
Well, you would probably be a little more familiar, I guess, with that part too.
Yes, I can talk a little bit more on that.
That's probably a big part of your job and stuff.
But yeah, like part of it is just networking, and part of you are going to industry, because if you, as a streamer, if you go to TwitchCon, all this stuff,
party with all the other streamers.
Well, you can party with all the streamers.
Go to the casino with all the other streamers.
You can do that.
Let's go.
But
big streamer casino party.
You can do that. But the other part of it is there's the industry people there. There are the stream elements. There are the Raid Shadow Engine was there. There's Lenovo. There's like all these other companies that are there that you can go and talk to, and Elgato or stuff like that. Like Corsair. Like all these companies are there to either, like some of them actually had merchandise or like their like Stream Deck or keyboards to buy, but they were also there to communicate with streamers and be like, hey, you can join a program or stuff, and you can build these relationships and network in the industry that way. So it depends who you are and what you're going for, but some of the aspects of
that makes sense
of the stuff is to go network. Like, because now I guess now that we kind of gotten out more or less your expectations and everything, because obviously you don't know much, but I guess I can talk a little bit more
ramen bowls and katanas.
I can talk a little bit more in depth about
my expectations.
Yeah, I can talk
every expo.
Oh God, you're gonna be very disappointed. But now I can talk a little bit more. But so let's go back. So like I said, I went to Offkai, which is a VTuber dedicated convention that happened last week in San Francisco. So this happened in San Francisco, just outside of San Francisco's airport. It was held in a hotel, which signifies a lot of normally one thing. It's not very big.
I was gonna say the whole convention was held in like one hotel.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent hotel. I won't lie. It's
like I'm sure
like, it's decently sized. It's not like you went into the lobby and that was it, and then like that the whole thing is there. There's a lot bigger space to it, but
you go to each individual room. 101 is
but
is this booth.
But there's space laid out for events and stuff in these.
That would actually be amazing. That's a brilliant idea. They all have their own individual bathrooms and area to set up.
No one will ever allow you to do that. No hotel would ever allow you to do that.
These are beds in case you want to sleep in our booth.
Yeah, no one would ever allow you to do that. But yeah, it's like it normally, if it's a big convention, it's held in a convention center. AX is happening in a giant convention center in LA. But if it's held in a hotel, a lot of times it's a lot smaller because they don't need as much room. But normally there's enough space to take up because it's an event. It is an event center. It is not just a standard hotel. It is an event center. They purposely have it to hold events. But this one was held in a hotel. So this was it's a VTuber convention, which is it was all focused on VTubers. So VTubers were there in person, online. There was all these booths with new industry companies that were either new VTuber company agencies. So like we spoke about with Astra, there is the difference between a indie VTuber and a corporate VTuber.
Right, yeah.
Some of these corporate VTubers were here with booths set up so they can introduce their
corporate VTubers.
So they can introduce you to their VTubers, their creators,
their industry,
or the new people that are coming in and stuff like that. Like there's that. There was people with merchandise as well and stuff like that. But the whole convention is focused around VTubers.
Okay. So real question: how many people were just computer monitors strolling around on wheels?
There's a couple.
Was there?
There's a couple.
Really?
There's a couple people that were doing that.
That's awesome. Oh, I love. They probably had like a room in the hotel, and they're sitting there just controlling the thing. That would be amazing.
So, I know this because of my position. So I was there with some people that are VTubers and were a part of the convention. And so I had background knowledge of stuff that was happening on. So I had a little bit more insight. But there are stream rooms that were happening there. That were set up so that they could be there in person and experience the con in person, but when they were doing something public, like either a panel or a meet and greet,
your favorite VTuber could be walking amongst you and you wouldn't even know.
It's very possible.
You would have no idea
if they've never shown their face, or they had or they weren't showing their badge, or their badge was hidden in terms of.
Oh, it's so interesting.
Like,
I'd be suspicious of everyone. I'd be like, so what do you do for work?
Okay. I gotta grab something.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's going to the wall. He's going to the wall of badges. The wall of convention badges.
So there's my TwitchCon one. I accidentally took that off the wall.
Oh yeah.
But
you got a bunch of badges.
I do have a bunch of badges. But this one is from Offkai, which is what I went to. So a lot of places had these little ribbons here that you could attach. So this one is just pronouns, and this one was because I went to a maid cafe. Someone told me someone forced me to go to the Anime Cafe.
You're gonna have to tell me that story. You're gonna have to tell me how that went. We're moving towards that.
Oh, it's a very interesting story actually. It's
heck yes.
But one of the ribbons that they were giving out was one that says they don't know the meme that is like they don't know I'm actually a VTuber.
They don't know I'm actually a VTuber.
Yeah, so so the little ribbon there said that, and so
that's amazing.
So some people had that on their
I would guess a lot of those VTubers have never shown their face whatsoever.
Some of them, yeah, but there was people.
You would be able to tell by the. Well, I guess a lot of people change their voices for VTuber avatars too, don't they?
Not necessarily.
I know there's a few that do like cutesy voices and stuff like that, which is not, the same as their normal voice. I mean, you see somebody just walking around the convention going, "Hello there, I am a normal person." I'd be like, yeah, normal person. What do you do for a living? Online media.
Online media. And you're at a VTuber convention?
And you're at a VTuber convention, huh?
Here, I'm gonna try to bring up a picture.
Bring up a picture? Please tell me it's a picture of you at a maid cafe.
No, I did not.
Damn.
I'll ask the person who took the picture to send me it.
Yes. You can't bring up the fact that you went to a maid cafe and not have a picture of you at a maid cafe. How even?
I'll ask them. I'll ask them.
Yes, I need it. I need it in my life. I'm gonna frame it and hang it up on a wall.
I'm not sending it to you.
Please.
I will show you.
Please?
I will show you on a screen share, but I will not ever send it to you.
Print screen is a thing. Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
I will make the quality really blurry. I will show you through my camera. Well, my camera's really blurry on my phone. So
everything's blurred out. It's just Bran's face, just going like.
Yeah. And then you'll never actually get to see it.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a picture of me floating out there with like just me doing a nya pose.
Oh, I know. We had that. We showed that on our other one.
Did you do did you do nya pose, Bran?
No, they made us. They made us do, what was it? No, I can't remember the thing that you do at Maid Cafe that they do the
thing that you do at Maid Cafe.
Well,
yeah,
the something.
Oh, the heart.
Yeah. What's it called? What do they call it?
Oh, chickenati, whatever the heck they say.
Yeah, you know now. Yeah.
Or they bless it with whatever you're eating with love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've seen enough anime to know exactly what you're talking about.
So,
did they put a little heart on your omelet with ketchup?
They didn't go that far. It wasn't a full service. Okay. So this was something that I can do. Let me shrink it so that it doesn't show up.
Yeah,
huge.
LJ Moe
Q. Yeah, there we go. That's what it is. Moe. So here's your picture stuff. That's not the one I wanted to do. Control.
Oh, okay.
But there we go. So these are VTubers. So you can see that.
Yeah, is that their little tram, their little trolley?
So one of them is. So this is one VTuber who was doing a meet and greet and was on the screen.
That's super cool.
So this is Punkalopi.
Who
I'm close to. But that's why I was in this room. And then this one is Fuyo from Idol Lian, who's on the little
the little tiny screen.
The little tiny screen which is on a little robot thing.
Okay.
But they had there was a bunch of them around that were riding around on that. There was two companies that were doing it, so like it wasn't like the whole site was filled with it. It was only like 2 trolleys running around at any one time, possibly. But like there was people doing that. Some were
That's
actually at the
amazing.
convention.
The future is now.
Yeah, some were at the convention and were doing that. Some were remote and were streamed in and were just doing these kind of walkarounds just for fun.
That's nuts.
But they weren't actually at the convention, which is the cool thing about VTubing, is that you don't necessarily need to be at the convention. And
yeah,
stuff.
you don't need to be there. You can remote control.
But like that was the thing, is like this is something that's new. This was something that was happening at there, and part of it was now all these people get to meet or see their VTubers, and they either got to see panels of them doing their stuff, or
that's so bizarre to me. Like, because like the whole reason I would go to a convention, right, would be to meet people in person. But like technically with a VTuber,
you can meet them in person. There's some that were just showing up in person and know their face. But
obviously, if the VTuber I knew was going to be there and you could meet them in person, I'd be like, "Frick yeah, that's my let's go."
Yeah, like Cinder, who was a big VTuber, was there and was in person. She was in cosplay too. She was doing her cosplay.
Nice.
She stood out because she was cosplaying herself. So she stood out very much.
That's cool. Yeah. See, I would love that. It'd be so. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about like seeing a physical thing as compared to something on a screen. Even if that physical thing is a screen, there's still something about being someplace in person that just is a different experience. Maybe it's because you're there with friends and you're not just sitting alone in your room on a computer.
Give me a second. I'm gonna message Lopi.
Oh,
she has the picture.
Oh yes, we need the picture. We need the picture. Bran at a Maid Cafe. Let's get it. Moe Q.
So yeah, I just messaged Lopi about it.
Please.
I asked Lopi. She has to.
And then we can compare Maid Cafe experiences.
Yes, we will compare.
I didn't understand a thing that was going on in mine.
Mine was
all in Japanese.
Mine was English, so I had.
Yeah, mine was entirely in Japanese, and then they would look at me, and their very limited English would come into play, and I'd be like, "Oh, do you want me to nya?" And they're like, "Nya."
Do you want me to nya?
They would literally, instead of talking to me, they'd just like grab me by the hand and drag me up on stage.
I just like the idea. Do you want me to nya?
Yeah, I mean that was essentially me. Like, just like, I don't. What do you want? What do you want from me? I don't.
But yeah,
I don't know what's happening.
So basically, it's just like there was VTubers who were there in person and VTubers who weren't there, or I'm sure there was tons of them who were undercover.
Oh, speaking of Astra is here. It says, even as a VTuber, I want to go in person and not have anyone know who I am.
Hi, Astra.
Yeah, that's Bran just showed off the tag of the meme from the VTuber convention. That is, I am secretly a VTuber. Yeah, we were talking about you earlier.
We were promoting you. We were saying go follow Astra.
Yeah, we were promoting you. Go follow Astra.
Go follow Scuffstra.
Our resident VTuber.
Our resident VTuber. Please don't. But yeah, there was that stuff. Yeah, and then there was.
I don't want to be associated with this, she says. Too late. You dug your grave.
You dug your grave. But yeah, no, there was the. I'll wait to see if Lopi ever gets back to me before the end of this. But yeah, the proof right there is the little badge right there that says Vshoujo or off. What does it say? It says Off Kai Cafe Vshoujo. So it's part of the
Off Kai Cafe.
Yeah, but it was part of the Maid Cafe stuff. I also because I went, I got a little badge. It's a fucking.
You got a little badge. I got a little heart like a little badge.
Sorry, a little pin. That's what it is.
Did you get a ramen bowl?
I didn't. It was very limited service. Like it wasn't actually like because it was just in a convention, so it wasn't like they were serving actual food or stuff. It was like snacks and stuff.
Oh.
Like it was very minimum.
They didn't even give you an omelet with the heart ketchup?
No, they did not.
Oh, that's That
I
sucks.
don't think I like omelets in the first place.
What? How do you wait? Okay, okay. We're changing topics for a second.
Oh, good.
Eggs. What's your thoughts?
I like scrambled.
Do you like scrambled? You're a scrambled egg person. I used to like scrambled as when I was younger, but now I give me that sweet yolk. That's like half the joy of eating an egg. You've got like I love just like a fried egg where you have the white part and you're just like, this is pretty good. This is kind of tasty. And then you get to the yolk and you're like, oh, that's the good stuff.
I
And you
never
just
never
go to
really
town.
I never really liked eggs in the first place, but I started to be like, ah, okay, they're all right. And then I kind of got into scrambled eggs, and I was just like, yeah, well, these are fine.
I love eggs. Eggs are great. Eggs are one of the greatest. We have,
I
as
so
mankind has survived on eggs, probably almost since the dawn of civilization.
so I know this is a really dumb thing to say now that I said I don't like really like omelets, but I really wanted to try while I was in Japan omuraisu. I didn't get the chance to, but
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
really
I
want
mean, that's a huge thing. Yeah.
but I really wanted to try omuraisu.
Omuraisu.
Uh,
I didn't actually get anything to eat at my maid cafe because all of it was expensive as all get out. It was like 3 times as
it
expensive as
it
it would be anywhere else
it
because
was
a maid comes up and goes, Moe Moe Q.
it was expensive. It was actually pretty expensive for me to participate in this, but
Yeah.
it was a it
Like,
was
you're
a
paying for the girl to serve you the food, not the food itself. Let's be real.
so okay. So I'll okay. I guess we'll talk about this. So I did participate in the Maid Cafe. It was half of a business thing too, so it's kind of funny. But we went to the Maid Cafe, so we got our maid. Our maid's is a veteran maid. In these kind of stuff, she's apparently done it for 10 years. So she's done it for a while, and when she's not doing this stuff at her main place wherever she is, she's a head maid. So she doesn't normally get to do the on service stuff anymore. Apparently, because as a head maid, you are basically the manager and the director. So you're watching out and making sure the service is done right. You're not the main server.
Right.
So she's veteran and knows what she's doing, and but she doesn't get to serve very often. So her serving is kind of a very special thing to her because now she gets to do it.
Yeah.
She's a great maid in the first place, but it was kind of funny because it was just like, all right, you get the normal stuff and the very awkward kind of, all right, maid serving you. They're in character, so
there is an implied like awkwardness that almost needs to happen at a maid cafe.
And so there was 3 of us. So it was me, it was Lopi, and it was one of her friends. Her friend is not at all in tune to this, so but he's very energetic, which was kind of funny too. So he was very kind of half into it, but half just like terrified.
But he's like, what do I do?
But he's got the extroverted personality, so he's just like he's not just looking awkward. He's talking and making it and doing all that.
That's great.
So it makes it a lot better too. But it's like but it's the whole character thing. So she's in character. So she's just like she's talking to you and she's calling you master and everything. And why can't I remember how do you say it again? What's master in Japanese?
What's master?
I can't remember.
Ochuji-sama or something like that.
Ochuji-sama. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember how to say it properly.
But... I don't know exactly. I call myself an anime fan. It's like it's something like Ochuji-sama or something like that. I don't know. It's the word all the maids use in in like anime and stuff like that. And it's not just master. It's like it's like master who owns me. It's like
master
a
of the
very domineering master.
Well, what she said, because the guy, their Lopi's friend didn't know what it meant. So she gave us the explanation. It means master of the house.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. It's a very
but
like you own me kind of master.
Yeah, but it's like weird because it's just like you walk in and then you get walked in, so you're getting taken to your table and everything. But when you walk in, like there are the maids lined up in a row because the first one takes you to your thing, but there's a couple in a row and they all bow to you saying "Welcome back home, master" and stuff like that. So it's like this really awkward thing that these maids are bowing to you, just saying "Welcome home." All in Japanese.
Goshu-shin-sama. That's what it is.
Goshu-shin-sama. Yeah.
Goshu-shin-sama.
But like it's that awkward atmosphere. But
or maybe it's more like a, I don't know. I get confused. Gochujin, I think, is more like a wife showing respect. I don't know. It's very confusing. I can't understand titles half the time in Japanese because Japanese has such a different way of addressing everybody that there's no direct English translation. There's like very specific ways to call each individual person.
This was interesting too because industry. I'm gonna go off track a bit here. The people that were some of the industry people that there was a Japanese VTuber agency kind of that was there. Japanese owned VTuber agency there, so their talent was English and is quite new, but their management is Japanese, and they knew a little bit of English, which is interesting. So I had a conversation. We were having conversations with them, and they did explain they were trying to explain and half explained kind of just the difference in terms of like English and Japanese, where it's just like there is no like what was it like. They don't have a like they basically don't say like who people
There's
are.
There's no direct translation.
Yeah. Because they don't have pronouns. Basically, they don't go he, she kind of thing. Like that's not something they do. They just
they have a different way to address you for like
they either call it by name,
how close you are.
Yeah. Well, they either call it by name.
Respect them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But they either call you by name or or by terms, or it's implied. So it's not. You say he is, you either say they, or not even they just say the word, and that's implying that that it was directed at this person, or you say the name of that person, or sensei or whatever the
sensei,
or depending on it, or depending on what it is, like. But regardless, like they had that conversation, which was kind of interesting from a Japanese person. Either way, we did a Maid Cafe. So we got snacks. So there wasn't a full service, but they did the moi moi Q thing and all that, which is very weird.
Yeah, there's like speaking of which, there's like this whole like kind of cutesy thing that revolves around these like maid cafes and stuff like that. Like you got to be cutesy and things like that. It's a very interesting setting to be in.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this before, but when I went to one, I was with my dad, and he has no idea about anything anime. We were just on a tour of Japan, and for a person who has no context to go to something like that, it was,
and I can't imagine your dad's too into it because again, like
to see my dad,
because again, the friend that I went with had very little context and didn't really know too much, but he's got a different personality than probably your dad, so you get a little bit more into it. But
yeah, my dad's more introverted. He was very just like
sit back, and let alone you are in a foreign country too, so like at least we're comfortable in a country that we kind of know.
You know what you're going to kind of when you go to a convention and stuff like that.
Whereas you go to Japan and your son brings you into a maid cafe in Japan and go hey dad, let's go into here. And
actually wasn't really my idea. It was like some lady walked up to us and we were like open to experiences because we're there.
I
everything.
like the idea better that you dragged your dad into the maid cafe.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, Dad, let's go.
I like
A
the
girl
vision of
just
that.
walks up to us and is like, hey, there's a maid cafe like right there. She was like dressed in a maid outfit and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. Do you want to see it, Dad? And he was like, okay, sounds good. Let's go. And then he got in there and he was like, what have I done?
No, I like the better.
That's
I think
so funny.
I think it's a better visual.
God, I wish I was like recording the whole thing on my phone
I,
because I've just never seen anybody so flabbergasted like in my entire life.
I just like the idea that you dragged your dad, and like
Yeah, it
I like
was just
the
so
vision of
perfect.
thinking you just drag your dad into a maid cafe, no, you knowing physically what would happen or
Yeah.
what could possibly happen, and him having no clue, just following his son along.
The icing on the cake was another foreigner group came in, and it was another guy who dragged. You could tell he dragged his girlfriend in. So it was so some. I think he was like, I think he was British or something like that, and he dragged his girlfriend, and they were sitting like kitty corner from us, and I was watching them the whole time. The dude was so into it. He was like, "Yeah, yeah!" They were like dancing to the anime songs, and his girlfriend was just like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" And she like, I could just see the deadpan look on his
Eh,
girlfriend's face the
Again,
entire
this
time.
this is the exact reason why when I went to Japan, I did not do this because I was with my family, my entire family, and
That's the
knew
reason I would
exactly
do
not
it.
to do it.
We need to open people's minds, Bran.
So you're gonna go to Japan and drag pancakes with you next time?
Heck yeah. Oh, he's already my brother knows everything about that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
does he? Okay.
My cousin Josh, who I live with as well, though, he is very clueless on that kind of stuff.
so, so,
But he would definitely he's a very open to experiences kind of guy, so he would
but
just
would he
be like,
enjoy
yeah,
it?
let's do it. He would be confused.
Or would he be like your dad and be just like, what did I get myself into? I know I agreed
I
to
don't
this,
think he
but
would care either way. I think he'd still have a good time just because he just likes seeing new things like I do.
is
He's
there anyone
very
in
he
your
and I are very similar in
is
that
there
aspect.
anyone in your family other than your dad who would walk into that you would drag in that would just be completely and utterly just
Oh, everybody,
uh
everybody in my family.
everybody else?
But yeah, my family is not very I'm definitely the nerdiest one in my
Okay.
entire family. Like nobody
Every,
else is
every
a big nerd.
Waffles books a maid cafe for his entire family. I think took a family
Yeah.
trip, a large family trip over to Japan.
Family
And,
reunion.
yeah,
Let's
family
go.
reunion, and Waffles books a maid cafe for them all to enjoy.
They would be so confused. Yeah, no, nobody else is really
And I
nerdy
never
in
want
my
to
family,
talk to
not even
Waffles
my
again.
dad. Not at least in anime nerddom. Like, everybody gets like chess and things like that, or comic books or something. But like, anime is a completely different. Nobody understands that kind of stuff in my family. Where it's very, very reserved. You know, white Christian family, so you can you can you can imagine like it's a very like not they're not open to they haven't at least they're open to stuff. They would actually probably love it, honestly, but they would be very confused. And it was really funny, like when I went to this maid cafe and I was sitting there with my dad, and that other guy came in with his girlfriend for for like a moment, we made eye contact with each other, and there was just like this glimmer of recognition in each other's eyes.
You and the guy, you and the guy
Yeah,
did, yeah, okay.
me and the other guy who was like having a blast because we were both foreigners who were really into it, and just kind of letting loose and just kind of going with the flow with people who didn't like know what the fuck was happening. And me and him kind of like made eye contact, and we were just like, yeah.
We know what's about to go down,
Yeah, we know what's up.
and it's
It was really funny.
and our family's gonna hate us after this.
Hmm. I'm like, there's going to be a long dialogue after this, isn't there?
A long conversation of just
Hmm. There was a very interesting conversation with my dad afterwards as I tried to explain what the hell just happened.
How did that go down? How did it?
Um, my dad was very confused. He was like, "So, was that like a sex thing?"
Was that?
He was very concerned because he he didn't know if it was like kind of like a brothel situation or something like
son, we
that.
have to discuss your interests.
Like he doesn't understand like moe culture and the Japanese like cutesy culture kind of thing. As far as he's concerned, it was all just weird fetishy sex stuff, which to be honest, it
Weird.
probably isn't far off. But like it was a very awkward conversation as I tried to explain
Oh,
that kind of culture to him and how it's like different from the way we view that stuff. And I don't think he fully understood, but I think he was okay with it. He's like, "Oh, okay. As long as it's not a weird brothel sex thing."
as long as you're not spending all your money on this.
Uh, it was just it was just a beautiful experience that, I don't regret even in the slightest. Uh, but going back to conventions, so you went to we'll steering back onto the conversation topic here. You went to the Maid Cafe,
I
with
so
with the VTubers.
I did go with a VTuber. What was I gonna say about that? Oh yeah, the fucking Moyo Q thing. Apparently it didn't work the first time. So apparently, so she grabbed a bunch of people around to do it again. So it was very weird.
It didn't work?
Well,
Like, the magic didn't
well,
take
yeah,
effect?
well, because she did it herself. She did it herself. So she's just like, oh, I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna do it myself. Oh, Moe Q thing, and then she's like, oh no, it didn't work, and all the whole thing. And she's like, I have to get more power. So she grabbed like like four or five of her the other maids around,
Oh,
and
that's
now you
yeah,
have
okay.
half of the table surrounded by like four or five maids. I can't remember exactly, and they all do the Moe.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. So you were surrounded by 5 women in maid outfits doing a heart with their hands, saying the words,
Moe.
"Moe, moe, Q." Yeah. That
Yes.
okay, so how awkward were the stares between you and your friends at the table
Yes.
as this was happening?
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
The only answer to that is yes.
Oh, I can only imagine. It's like sitting down at a restaurant and you say it's like someone's birthday and they all come out and start singing like happy birthday, except for it's 5 girls in maid outfits saying Japanese words. Oh, I can only
So
I can only imagine.
so that happened, and then um
I'm so jealous.
so they did stuff the other stuff. So they let us finish our snacks and kind of left us alone for a little bit, as you would.
Yeah.
And then two of the maids did a song and dance kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which was
Yeah, they did that for me too at mine maid
yeah,
cafe.
yeah. So they two of the maids did a dance, and then the other ones were doing their cheers and stuff, and so you go yay, kind of clap along with it. And,
Yeah. It's
again,
just smile
again,
and wave.
as you
Smile and wave.
as you would if you've
Smile and
ever been
clap.
to a maid cafe kind of thing. It's like it's pretty
Mhm.
standard, like yeah. And so the other part to it was we got to play games with we get to play a game with our maid.
Oh,
So
heck yeah.
they had a bunch of board games you could play.
Oh, I was
with-
gonna be like,
with-
I will stomp you in Smash Brothers.
no, it was board games. So our maid gave. So we were like, oh, we could play Uno or something, and it's just like that was it. But then our maid's like,
That's cool.
there is a game that I love to do and I want to play, and I haven't been able to do for a while because again she's a head maid, so she doesn't get the chance to always do stuff. So she made the suggestion of playing Yeti in My Spaghetti.
Yeti in My Spaghetti. Oh, I know that game.
So
I know that game. It's where you got the spaghetti things,
so
and you got to pull out the pieces of spaghetti.
so we played Yeti in my spaghetti, which is which is you just have a plastic bowl and you put these spaghetti pieces, these plastic pieces.
Yeah, the plastic spaghettis
on top of the bowl, and they're all different kind of. They have a little bit of waves in them, so that it makes it hard. And you put the Yeti on top of it, and the loser, who is the one who pulls the spaghetti that makes the Yeti fall into the
the
bowl.
It's like spaghetti Jenga.
Yeah. So that's perfect segue, because we had a little bit of time left. So what did we play?
We played Jenga.
We played Jenga, but not any Jenga. We played Yeti in my Jenga. So
I'm sorry.
We put the Yeti on top of the Jenga, on top of the thing, so that every time someone had to take out a piece, they had to move the Yeti, or they had to pick up the Yeti, put the piece down, and put the Yeti back on top.
Oh, you got to put the Yeti on top of the Jenga? On top of the Jenga tower?
Yeah. This Yeti became a immortal being, a worshipped being. God. So we kept.
He's like up on top, and everybody's like, "Oh."
So this is how interesting it got. We were playing that for a little while, and we were getting pretty far. Like our tower was actually becoming very unstable and getting very far. And we're playing for this so long that 2 or 3 of the other maids, it grabbed their attention. And they came over to start watching because of how strange it looked and how close it was getting.
Everybody worshiping a Yeti on top of like a monolith of Jenga blocks. That sounds awesome. Was it like a regular size Jenga, or was it like the big bar size?
It was
Jenga?
Regular size Jenga, so it was that like tiny Jenga stuff. So like you put the Yeti on top, and it covered the entire thing basically, and it's just like, oh my god.
Jenga's a really fun. Like I've played a lot of Jenga drunk. It's a very fun bar party game.
I would totally knock that down so quickly.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, usually that's what happens. I remember playing a version of Jenga where there was shots hidden inside of the blocks, and if you pulled out a block with a shot inside of it, you'd have to take the shot.
That's fair.
And then put it in there. Okay. Yeah.
So I got a special picture that I found. It's not my picture. So I'm gonna show it on
you have the picture?
I'm gonna show this.
Yes.
This wonderful picture that's not that is on stream. Here.
Do like drums.
Here we. Hey Waffles, here we go.
Oh, god damn it! God, no, get. Where did you find that? Where did you find that?
So I haven't gotten my picture yet, but here's Waffles doing.
Oh my god, I couldn't even find that. I don't even know where that is. How did you find that?
So you know how I was looking over here for a while? I was scrolling through our DMs.
Oh my god. Oh god. I'm like, that's when I had shaved my head. I was going full 6 head, polo shirt, rocking the polo shirt. Boy, yeah, it's Hanako was the maid's name next to me. Oh my god. 2019. 9/11.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So
that was an experience, man.
So there's Waffles doing his nya pose with his maid that he took his picture with.
I don't want to.
It's so great. You look so awkward in it. Like your
This was
face
a
just like
prize I actually won. So what they had was they had a box that was going around.
we haven't talked about this on this podcast because we did it on the other one, but we didn't get a chance to do
Oh
so.
yeah,
So
that's true.
this is all the new stuff.
Yeah, this is a prize I won. So they would pass around a little covered box, and you would stick your hand inside and pull out a piece of paper, and they would read it, and whatever number you got was the prize you would get. Uh, I got the prize, I guess, number one prize, which was get to go up on stage, with one of the maids, and they sign it and give you the picture. And I was very confused. I literally like had no idea what was happening. She handed the box. She did the motion for me. She's like, reach inside, grab a number. I was like, okay, now what do I do? And she takes it and she reads, and then she like says, whatever one is in Japanese, and like shows it to everybody, like just shows it to the entire everybody inside the Maid Cafe. Takes me out of nowhere. I'm just sitting there like, what's happening? She takes me, drags me up on stage in front of like everybody. Um, and I'm sitting there like, what is happening right now? I'm so confused. But like, you know, I'm me, so I'm just rolling with it. I'm just like, what am I doing? What's happening? And she looks at me and goes, "Nya?"
Yeah.
And I was like, you want me to you want me to oh, you want me to she's like, you nya. And I was like, okay, all right, yeah, sure. And she's like, ready? 1, 2, 3, nya. And me just staring to this room of people in a
Your
dark
dad there.
room. My father dead center in front of me, looking at me, just staring at me with just the most disappointment in his son he's ever seen in his life. He was direct, like
Yeah.
mid center too, like direct eye contact with my father.
I know what this
sitting
episode's
out in the crowd.
I know what this episode's being called. Anyways, but but
he looks at me and just like I could see the disappointment in his eyes.
I also like to point out the cat that's in the corner here.
Yeah,
The
no,
little
they
cat.
signed it. They wrote all that stuff on there. Uh all of them gave it to me. They were very enthusiastic, and oh boy, it was something. It was something, man. It was a very interesting experience. I gotta say that.
If I blended this in more, this looks funny. This like
No, don't just put it.
This
It's
looks
like
like
a poster on my
It
wall.
looks like a poster.
It does. It's just hanging up on my wall back there. This is my poster. I look at it every day and dream of Hanako.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Uh,
Did you go to Akihabara when you were in
I was in Akihabara.
This was in Akihabara.
Yeah, I saw a couple maids. Yeah,
Yeah, I
didn't
was
see
gonna
too
say
many.
you usually see a bunch of maids.
I
in the
didn't see too many. I only
corners.
I saw one, or like I saw a couple, but they were on the exact same street corner, and the other one would disappear. So I would assume that they were on rotation.
Huh.
When it is, but I
Yeah,
only saw the one street corner that the maids were sitting on. To be fair, I went first thing in the morning before even things were open. So like
Okay.
we were there from like 10:30 to like noon or something like that, or a little
Yeah,
bit
they're
later.
mostly afternoon and evenings.
So like
because-
yeah, so it wasn't
Yeah,
like
like,
it
'cause they're
wasn't
serving
probably
drinks and stuff
prime
like that.
time for maid cafes,
Mhm.
but it was there. So
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's mostly like an evening thing. That if you go out in like the afternoon and evening, there's like a maid on every corner. It's crazy how many of these maid cafes they are. Apparently, they're very
But
they make a lot of money because there's a lot of them.
yeah, so yeah, there it is. But yeah, we're talking about maid cafes, we're gone off course, but yeah, so maid cafes are a big part of anime
God,
conventions.
and now I have a
Um,
new poster on my
you
wall.
now have
I
a
hope
new
you all like it. I
poster
hope you like my
on your wall.
poster.
Unfortunately, Lopi seems to be passed out, so
Yeah,
I can't. I don't have
it was the
photo.
Maid Dreaming Cat. It was the Maid Dreamin' Cafe, not Maid Dreaming. Maid Dreamin'. It's the Maid Dreamin' Cafe.
But yeah, it was a very interesting experience because then it ended. Then they had stuff we could buy if we wanted to because it was paired up.
Yeah,
with
going back to your conventions,
Yeah.
we sidetracked just a
Yeah.
little bit
Oh,
there.
we should have vlog, but I know what I'm gonna name the thing now. So,
Uh,
but
no, Arya, not Maid Dreaming. God, no, it kind of does, like, because the maid. Oh God, no. We're all right. Moving on.
what are you gonna
Back
say?
to
What
Brand's
were you gonna
convention
say?
talk.
What were you gonna say?
Because now I'm never gonna be able to unsee that, and I'm very sad. Arya has ruined this picture for the rest of my life.
But now you gotta post it on your wall forever.
Maid Raymond. Anyways, continuing on.
But yeah, it was a very interesting experience.
To your convention talk.
Yes, it was a very interesting experience to be a part of that. Some of the maids knew and were fans of Lopi because Lopi's the streamer.
Yeah.
But or is a VTuber streamer. They were fans, so we talked to some of the maids a little bit more, and Lopi was signing a couple things for them as well. We got our photo at the end of the day. I will show it to Waffles at least if I ever get it from Lopi.
Yes, I need this. I need to put it. I will put that on a poster and hang it up on my wall. 100%.
I'm gonna just leave this up here forever. Then I gotta blend it in a little bit more, and then it's just in the background forever.
Put it in a frame.
But yeah, no, it was. We got our photo. The Yeti was if I ever get it, the Yeti's in the photo as well. That's how prized it was. It was the Yetis in the photo.
Yeah, the spaghetti Yeti.
Yeah, the spaghetti Yetis in the photo. So it was a very interesting experience to say nonetheless. And then you leave, and they do their whole leave.
That's cool.
They say goodbye.
See, that's the kind of stuff I would love to go to a convention for. Is like experiences like that. You know.
It was very interesting. Again, I've never been to it. None of us have been. So none of us have been to a maid cafe before. Neither of the three of us. Me and Lopi had ideas of what it's like. So we had
from what I told you.
Well, that and just general context. But yes,
you're right.
But her friend had absolutely no clue. So he was.
That's beautiful.
He was an experience in general. But that's something you'll see at like all anime conventions. Basically, is they'll have a section for maid cafes, which is always interesting to see. But
I would definitely love to go for like the experience and things like that, and seeing things you couldn't like. It's not just going up to a counter and buying something is
again, it's not a full experience. The maid cafe, like again, all this is like very shortened down.
Well, I assume there's like a small.
So like it's
area.
not like they're serving like huge amount of food or anything like actual maid cafes would, but like it's an experience nonetheless.
Most of the food at the cafe I went to was just like parfaits. How much sugar would you like?
Well, I think a lot of things they would serve would be like these ones would be like some cookies and stuff. Like you get a cookie or two.
Yeah, it was all kind of like very sugary treats and stuff, and I was like, I'm good. But you had to, in order to be there, because there wasn't actually an entrance fee to pay. You have to buy at least a drink.
Yeah, we had an entrance fee of these ones. So
yeah, we didn't have to pay. They just brought us up there and set us down, and they're like, you have to get at least a drink.
But it's a very interesting experience nonetheless. There is an awkwardness that fills the air in the entire space there. We also went on a Sunday, and so there was a lot less people that were going. So because I'm sure that the Saturday was very busy, but the Sunday was very kind of laxum because the people who want to have done it would have done it already, and
I would say it's very interesting too. Like I would, I'm making jumps and assumptions here, but I would say like I would say for the most part, a lot of people who watch like animes and stuff like that would be more like introverted and things like that for like anime conventions and
It's
things.
just really weird, man. It's
So a lot
awkward.
of people not used
Like
to being
you,
in
like
very
you,
heavy social situations.
like you understand it because you've done it, but it's just so awkward. Like there's just girls dressed up in maid costumes calling you master in Japanese.
It
And
is.
that's all they're
That's what I
they're very
thrive
polite
on, though.
and they're being very polite and
love
stuff.
that
and just-
stuff, man.
It's just so
I-
awkward though. Like you know, it's just like as an introverted person and someone who like, didn't intend to do a maid cafe ever or not originally, but now you go to one and you're kind of forced into it and you go to it, and now it's just this entire air of awkwardness because like again it's not like some of these maids it's not always it's just something they wanted to do. Some of them are just volunteers who are doing it, like instead rather than obviously the Japanese ones where it's their job. These convention ones, sometimes they're just volunteers or something of the sorts. So they're awkward too. Some of them sometimes that may not be used to it as much or may not be
Right. I can imagine.
Akin to it. So like there's just an air of awkwardness around because sometimes they're awkward and not used to it, and you're awkward.
Like the maids
and
themselves,
not used to
or
it.
like the people you're with.
No, the maids themselves, because the maids themselves are volunteers. Like someone at this convention.
Right, yeah.
It's unlike Japan, where this is their job, so they have to get into it and stuff.
They were all just pure confidence. Just the maids at the maid cafe I was at, you could tell they'd done it for a while.
Yeah,
there was zero hesitation.
The convention ones, they're just to be entertaining and as volunteers, they may not even be paid. In general, I don't even know. I think some of them are volunteers, so it's just like there's a sense of just awkwardness in the entire thing because you're slightly awkward not being used to it. They're slightly awkward not being fully used to it.
I can kind of
not
see
being
that.
their stuff.
Yeah.
It's just
especially they're like volunteers and stuff like that.
An air of awkward. Like again, our maid was great, and she's a veteran of 10 years, so
she's a veteran of maid cafes.
So it's like she understands it, but still, it's just there's just general sense of just awkwardness sometimes with it.
Yeah. I can definitely see that.
But it's an experience, and nonetheless, I can at least say I can check it.
Yeah,
off
it's an experience, and that's
definitely check it off
the...
my bucket list and say I've done a maid cafe now and never have to do it again.
I can't believe you went to Japan and didn't do a maid cafe. I'm just... We'll have to go. One, we got to go to a hot springs together, and we got to go to a maid cafe.
No, I'd like to just stick to the isekais and get drunk.
Why not both? Let's sit in a hot springs with.
No, that's gonna even be worse.
No, why
that
not?
sounds even worse. Just picture it, Waffles.
Oh, I am, and that's why. Let's go, Bran. I'm ready.
Waffles is
Are you kidding me?
Waffles is now gonna start.
Is that supposed to dissuade me?
Waffles is now gonna start That's gonna be so awkward, man. That's just so weird.
I thrive on it.
Oh my god.
I thrive on the
Waffles
awkwardness.
is just gonna start nyahing all over the place. In his
Nya. Hi, Bran. That's how I'm gonna start every podcast from now on.
Nya.
Hi guys. Nya.
You have to be the Hololive girl. I can't remember her name. Nya hello.
Nya hello. I don't know who that is, but yes, that's my new sign on.
But
Nya hello, it's Waffles for Chumps here. Woo. I'm sorry.
And oh look, Waffles is down to 700 followers. I don't know how he lost.
Suddenly, everybody just unsubscribed from my channel for some reason. I don't know why. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
This video released on YouTube, and suddenly, like, everybody unsubscribed. It's nuts.
Yeah, but.
So, did you do anything else interesting at the convention besides just
this one's pretty small, so I didn't do too many different things. I got to meet a lot of people. I got to meet some VTubers as well. Got to meet some VTubers in person and get to know their personalities. Industry wise, it's very interesting because I got to talk to some of them who are agency VTubers and got, like I said, this Japanese agency. I got to talk to their management a little bit, so it was very interesting to hear some of their conversations and hear some insights. Personally, just because I went, because another part of conventions is after parties. Like there's always a lot of after parties that happen, whether it's set up by by the convention itself or by other.
This is the real convention.
Yeah, but there's like that, and there's other things, and like I went to a couple of these industry mixers or after parties. And got to talk to some people, so it's very interesting just to have conversations with people.
Was there people from like all over the place, like overseas and stuff? They're doing the VTuber stuff, or was it mostly like North America, Canada?
I'd say most of it was North American, but there were some people who probably were a little bit out of their ways, probably from Europe and stuff, who were doing it. Like obviously, like the VTubers, there were some people who were VTubing in and live streaming into the convention, and who were at home, who were overseas. But like the attendees were probably majority North American. Was there any like Japanese VTuber scene representatives there or anything like that? Not really. Like all of it was pretty much dedicated NA stuff. Like, which isn't surprising because Japanese has their own kind of dedicated. Yeah, they have their own like I almost like segregated, like this is our special, this is our zone. So I got in a conversation with one of the Japanese representatives or the companies that were there and that manages English talent, and he was talking to me about we were talking about conventions and stuff, and he was talking about some of the really huge conventions that were happening over in Japan, and one of them like the HoloLive stuff and everything. No, not even just that. I meant like just a standard anime, like an otaku convention kind of thing, and like apparently it's like 3 times, like there's a convention that's like 3 times or 2 times as big as Anime North or Anime Expo. It's just like I can't imagine. How anime big convention in Japan, holy crap.
They've got like giant buildings just dedicated to otaku culture and stuff.
We were talking about like stuff like that. It's just like I can't imagine how big that is, because like I haven't been able to be able to go to AX, and I can't imagine how big AX is in the first place, let alone 3 times as big.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely insane. Another big reason I would go to like a convention too, just to continue on with our convention topics, an excuse to cosplay.
What would you cosplay as?
Because I love
I'm interested in what you'd cosplay.
I love Halloween.
I've never cosplayed. I don't like cosplaying, or I don't like personally cosplaying because that's not something I do. But that not cosplaying in general. I like seeing people cosplay. I just don't personally like cosplaying. But what would you cosplay as? Do you have an idea what you would cosplay as?
Oh boy, it depends on like if I was going to like anime or not anime if I was going to like Comic-Con, I would probably dress up as something really. Oh man, what would I go as?
Waffles' dream is to cosplay Maid.
I mean, if I could pull it off, if I could pull off a good enough outfit, which would be very hard considering my build, I would love to go as the Hulk. He's my favorite superhero. He's my favorite comic book character. I love everything about the Hulk. It's just a guy who gets angry and beats everybody up. It's the best character ever. If I was going to Comic-Con, I would be the Hulk and be like, me go to this booth. But I don't think I could pull off the outfit is my problem. I don't think I could pull it off. I just don't have, the build for it. I would have to get big inflatable muscles.
I gotta do something real quick.
And like, I don't have a very like square head. I have a very ovally head. So I couldn't do the Hulk head very well. So it would definitely have to be, and if I took off my shirt, it would definitely scare most people. What is this? What just happened there?
Don't worry about it. Just keep talking.
Don't mind me. My wall's just shifting a little bit. You're just fixing my poster in the background there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's a little bigger, but yeah, that works. Here we go.
Taking my shirt off and painting myself green would probably get me arrested.
No,
more likely than want people to take pictures at a Comic-Con. But
you could do it as long as you're wearing pants. I'm sure you can do it.
As long as I'm wearing pants.
As long as you're wearing pants,
Damn.
sure
Well, there goes the whole naked Hulk cosplay idea. Frick. Also,
no, you should dress up as a maid. You should go to the anime convention dressed up as a maid.
If I did go to an anime convention, anime character, I wouldn't want to go as like a shonen protagonist. I wouldn't want to go as like Goku or Naruto or something like that for sure. There's no way. I'd probably find a ridiculous character from an anime and dress up as them, because those are my favorite characters, like Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist or something like that. I don't know. Just big buff guys for some reason is apparently the theme of my
big buff guys. You don't want to take the idea you gave me and dress up as president?
Oh yes,
Kaguya-sama?
also yes. Oh yeah. President from Love is War.
Yeah,
yes, I would actually love that. I'd pull it off really good too, because I have his tired eyes. If I take off my glasses, I've got very dark, like you can see just naturally. It doesn't matter how much sleep I get. My eyes are just like this. My eyes are just dark and tired just all the time.
Waffles is gonna cosplay Chica.
It's just naturally. It's always looked that way. Yeah, no, I'll cosplay Chica.
You play cosplay.
Literally already done the Chica.
You've done a lot of interesting things, haven't you? Like in your lifetime, you streaming
we've done
already.
Some interesting things.
You've dressed up as a maid on stream. You've done the Chica dance.
Streaming leads you to some weird places, man.
You've done some interesting dance moves. You've put duct tape on your hair and on your headphones. Right. And
we had that drinking. I think was this old podcast?
That was old podcast
where I did the drinking.
That was old podcast.
The drinking stream, and I put the Viking helmet on with the drinks in it,
and you leaked down your entire shirt. And
most of the podcast was me trying to fix the drinking hat. Yeah,
that was old podcast.
We need to bring that back. That was great.
Oh my god.
Anyways, is there any other stuff we want to talk? We're going on like 2 hours here.
We are, and we've talked about very little in terms of. It was like the first like.
We talked about maid cafes and anime for like half the episode.
I was gonna say the first hour I think was convention talk, and then the rest was.
It was maid cafes and anime. Just somehow it always goes back to anime. I can't help myself.
Why aren't we an anime podcast?
Why aren't we an anime podcast?
Oh, that's right, because we don't watch enough anime. Oh,
yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of anime. I just don't.
But do you watch it now?
Opinions on it to like form opinions.
But do you watch enough now to?
Yeah, not so much now. Not as much as I would.
We're better at talking about maid cafes and that poster.
Yeah, I just started the cyberpunk anime. I watched the first episode, which was very interesting. First episode of that anime, very depressing. Very, very depressing. Cyberpunk is not a happy universe. So that was a very hard watch for the first episode. I might watch more just to see if it gets any less depressing. But that's about as much anime as I've done lately. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of anime. The last one I watched a lot of was Demon Slayer, I think. And we watched Love is War. I remember we watched the movie together, actually.
Yeah,
you and me just sat down.
We watched the 4 episodes.
Love is War movie.
Yeah,
that was a good anime. I liked that one.
Yeah. Anyways,
but anyways, about. God, we keep going back to anime.
We'll end it there. We wasn't sure how this was going to turn out anyway, so it's all right. But yeah, conventions are an interesting thing to do. I definitely need to take you to a convention at some point. We need to go to conventions and
yeah, that'd be cool. I would absolutely love an excuse to go to a convention.
Yeah, we'll take you, and we'll take you to an anime convention, and we'll go to a
I'll be dressed as the Hulk. I'll go to the anime convention dressed as the Hulk, and they'll be like, "What the?"
There are like anime. There are conventions conventions that are like comic that are split like anime, Comic-Con.
Yeah,
gaming,
anime dash comics.
Yeah, / gaming. So like there are stuff that you could get away with.
/ gaming. Yeah.
But, like,
I mean, I think you could get away with being dressed as the Hulk anywhere, honestly. You could go to your local grocery store dressed as the Hulk and they'd probably be like, nice Hulk cosplay.
You should do that and have your brother take a video of it.
By the way, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Yeah, you should go do that in your town.
But good cosplay.
You should go do that in your local town and have your brother take a video of it.
Yeah, just walk around with my very unbuff shirt off body, just sitting there, just going, "Me smash, hello."
Painted green. Now you just sound like Reinhardt.
Yeah, that's true. I do sound like Reinhardt from Overwatch. That's just my big strongman voice. Hello, it is me, strongman.
Strong German man.
Strongman.
Anyways, we'll call it there. Thank you for once again listening to us ramble a bunch of the other stuff. If you want to go check out other stuff, if you want us to go see us talk about esports in the Olympics, you can go check out our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, all under the name WaffleBran Podcast. Oh, it's blocked by the Maid Dreamin',
by my
image.
beautiful poster.
I've moved it now, but
it's a fifth dimensional poster.
But yeah,
supersedes everything.
But yeah, if you want to go check that stuff out, go check out our previous stuff. Go check there, or if you want to go see us talk about VTubers more, go check out those episodes in the past. There, we'll be back hopefully in a couple weeks' time. Talking about something else, and then we'll figure out from there.
More anime.
More anime. We're gonna talk about more anime, or we're all gonna get drunk.
We keep getting stuck on that topic. We just be an anime podcast at this point.
Or we're all gonna get drunk again, and we'll see. Maybe we'll have a guest. Who knows? We haven't had one in a while.
We haven't had a guest in a while. Yeah, I want a guest. I am tired of talking to you, Bran. I want to talk to somebody else.
I think I'm the one who says that more than you.
Yeah, I was gonna say you seem more likely to just be like, no, please, just somebody save me from waffles. Just save me.
So we'll figure it out there. But everybody else,
bye.
Have a good time. We will be back eventually.
Bye.